So, welcome to the IBG Startup YouTube interview series. It's the startup series.
Mm-hmm.
We have a division called the Startup Environment
Okay.
Ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
where we are interviewing people who are setting up new ideas
Okay.
into startups,
Okay.
and then maybe going for funding or whatever your growth plans are.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what we are going to be talking about today.
Okay. So it's going to be very nice talking to you.
So I note from your biography that you sent me that you achieved enormous strides in various aspects at a fairly young age,
Mm-hmm.
and that seems to be your specialty is the mental health
Right.
of I think all sorts of ages,
Yes, we have been
including
working.
children,
Yes.
including children,
Yes.
and you already have a large body of work to your name,
Right.
and I think you've been to 100 speaker events
Yes, more than that
or
probably.
something like that, more
More
than
than that.
that, and you've written a lot of papers
Yes.
on into journals, scientific journals,
Right.
and so 100 lectures it says
Mm-hmm.
around the world, visiting faculty for the PG and UG,
Right. Right.
and also research on ADD and HD.
Right.
I
Right.
wanted to Google, but I didn't get the time.
Right.
I really don't know what is ADD and HD.
Okay.
I have a brief
Okay.
recollection, but can you tell me more about it?
Okay, so ADD, ADHD means attention deficit hyperactive disorders. This is a group of disorders that I have been working on for a long time now,
Yeah.
helping children get identified for this problem and helping find good enough solutions to help them for their problems. So this is a upcoming and a burning problem currently in our country. In a classroom, as the normal statistics would say, 10 to 14% of children may likely to be having this kind of a problem. And often I think in my clinic every day I come across parents who say my child is very hyper. These are children who may be having these kind of difficulties where they are very impulsive, they act without thinking, they are very restless. There may be those category of children who may be inattentive or may not be able to write or complete their notes in the class. So I help them identify these children and provide them with what I call as two components of treatment. One is the therapeutic intervention and the second part of training. There may be those children who just require some amount of training with occupational therapy or remediation. Some do benefit with behavioral counseling, and there are those who may require treatment. So we work with a very structured way to help these children with ADD, ADHD.
Who refers them, the parents or the schools and the teachers?
Uh,
Do you have a line into the schools? Do you
uh,
go and talk to the teachers also and provide this service that we do this?
So currently we work with on an average over 100 schools in the city of Mumbai. We have been doing this for the last at least 10 years now. We work with Times NIE also. We have on an average a lot of more than 100 teacher training programs across one academic year. We do a lot of parent workshops also, and we do what we call as life skill education for children in schools itself.
In 2014, you have set up EduPsych,
Right,
Educational Services, a
right.
startup, you say,
Hmm.
current parlance.
Right,
Our viewers would like to know more about this. You also done part of it is what you call the Mentagram.
right,
So that's an app, is it?
right, right.
And what made you get into this? I mean, this is you are running a proper clinic and everything. Why are you getting into something so different?
Right. Now, when I'm working with so many people, so many children, I actually see the agony of the patients who are going through this kind of suffering also, and the families also who have to suffer with them. Let me just give you a small example. You have typhoid, you go to a doctor, the doctor prescribes a particular treatment, you are there for a small course of at home not working, and then you get back to your routine. But when it comes to mental health, there are two big problems. The first is the non-availability of mental health professionals in our country. Just to quantify the same, currently, if I talk about the doctor-patient ratio in our country, it's 1 is to 3 lakhs 43,000. Because the government of India says that there are 75 million people in our country who are having a mental health problem, and only 10% have access to mental health professionals. So we saw that there is this huge gap between those seeking mental health services and the mental health delivery system. That was the first thing. The second thing, as I was saying, the suffering which the family of mental health sufferers have to go through. It's not that that individual suffers. The entire family suffers. Let me give you a small example of a child who may be going through mental retardation, or an adult who may be going through schizophrenia. It's usually the caregivers, that's the wife or the son or the any other caregiver who is there, who has to actually not just take care but take great care for that person miss his routine to reach out to a doctor, then try and see that the prescription is available. They all have to go through significant difficulties to achieve these goals. So we are trying to see how we can bridge this gap.
Through this app, will you also provide the medicines?
Yes,
Nowadays there are clinics which are coming up online who are providing the medicines also. So
Right.
once you identify
Right.
patient,
Right.
clinically diagnosed,
Right.
so instead of writing a prescription, would you be also able to actually reach out and give them the medicines, or will that be at an advanced stage?
No, we are currently, our solution is fully ready and the delivery system is also fully ready. We had tied up with our e-pharmacy partners NetMeds, and once the prescription is there by the doctor, everything gets taken care of and delivery happens at the doorstep of the client.
So how do you think this will help one of the questions that comes to my mind is, how will you reach out to the possible patients?
Right.
I mean, it's very difficult to have something and to have people know about it.
Very
and
true.
reach out to you. Will you advertise? What is your mode of communicating? What is the discovery?
Right. So what we are currently doing, or we are actually just will be on this 15th we'll be having 2 months of operations. In 2 months of operations, we have had nearly 150 mental health professionals get on board with us. I come from the field and it's relatively easy for me to reach out to the fraternity. So that's the first thing that we are doing. We are helping our fraternity to help get their dropout cases back to practice, where they can see that if they have long distance patients or those chronic patients who are finding difficulties, they can get them on board with us. We have had a lot of centers in the city of Mumbai who have actually adopted our services already. There is a sports medicine center, so sports psychology center who has adopted. There is a psychological training center who have adopted, and there is a career counseling center who have adopted our center. And we are in talks with a lot of service providers who currently have outreach, because we want to reach out to every home, because every home needs some mental health issue. So we are reaching out to and building relationship with strategic partners to ensure that we are able to have this kind of outreach. That's the first step. Secondarily, we are going to be reaching out to corporates, because what current statistics says 4 in 10 corporates have mental health problems, predominant among them being anxiety and depression. So that's how we are going to have our next outreach. Third and most important, we have outreach with a lot of schools and colleges. So in schools, the parents, and in colleges, that's our target audience, that's from 18 to 25. I see that we have a significant scope of working with these adolescents who are the future of our country. Just to give you in numbers a very small thing, we have 148 suicide per lakh children in our country, which is way high beyond the 14.5 per lakh children globally. So we are trying to see, it's not just to do with bridging the gap, but to solve a social cause, to ensure that mental health becomes accessible, available and affordable to all.
So what stage have you reached? You just mentioned something. Are you already commercially launched? Deployed?
Yes, we are 2 months in operation. We are in 2 months in operation. We launched on 15th of April, and we currently have around 750 downloads, and a significant amount of traction is also happening. Transactions on an average, I would say that we have 2 or 3 consultations already happening on a daily basis.
So what is the business plan? I'm asking these questions because a lot of investors will be viewing this. Because where we reach out is entrepreneurs as well as investors.
Right.
So there might be investors who could be interested.
Very true.
And we will also, along with this, we'll also give out your contact details.
Right. So what we have not a very small business plan. I intend to be in this for my life. So I am not looking at 3 year, 5 year. I am looking at it from a 20-year perspective. Okay. So what we are doing currently is, in the first 3 years, we would be the gross aggregator for mental health in the country. In 3 years of time, we would look at expanding into emerging markets, which may be something like Philippines. We may look at Malaysia. Dubai is a very big market, because that the mental health is the 5th most predominant problem in that country. So we intend to reach out to the Southeast Asian countries as we move on. Something which I specialize in, and what we will be bringing to, which will be very different than any other person who may look at mental health in the countries, to bring a lot of analytics. Okay, I have done my mental health data analytics from the Indian Statistical Institute at Calcutta, and what we intend to do is make people more proactive to their mental health. So when you are using the app, we are trying to analyze your behavior through using the app, and we will be giving you a lot of predictive data that can help you become more proactive to your mental health and take informed decisions towards it.
There was one question which I was going to ask, which you already answered, and that is the product meant just for India, or can it be used worldwide?
So currently we are compliant with India. We look to expand in the near future, going into these Southeast Asian countries as we take it ahead.
So do you need a license for this? Like doctors need a license to practice. You're reaching out as a mental doctor, but because it's a different platform.
Right.
Is there a license required here and in other countries?
Okay,
to practice this?
So as far as consultation or counseling is concerned, in the mental health draft 2014, even the government of India has talked about telepsychiatry as a viable solution for mental health problems in our country. There are currently no rules, if I have to put from that domain. There are a lot of guidelines though given by the government, and yes, we are coming from the field, we are most diligent into following the guidelines, because I bring with me not just experience but ethics, which is a very important part in this field.
Because I have seen that some of these so-called shops that have come online for medicine, they are run purely by business people. There is no doctor behind it.
Very true.
So how do they do that? I mean, because even if you want to set up a shop on the ground for pharmacy or something, you have to have there's a big queue of licenses required to do that, checks and so many things. So how does that apply to an online platform?
So coming from that domain, while as I said, we have an online partner called NetMeds. We are just providing a platform to ensure that the delivery and the system are in place. But coming from the other aspect, from ethics and other point, we are ensuring that the doctor prescription the NetMeds do ensure that the FDA compliance is happening and the doctor prescription is with them, because that's the part of the FDA compliance which is there. So every doctor, whichever prescription they are making, NetMeds eventually takes it from them in physical also. So that's something that we are trying to ensure that the FDA compliances are in place.
Are there any other companies like yours already formed? Is there any competition? Or
okay.
you are among the first movers?
Though I would say that we are the first movers from the app perspective. We do have other providers, but they are more into looking into the domains of mental wellness. I say I am bringing science to a field which is clouded by superstition. So we are different from that domain. There are other programs, if you see, which are available in the market, but not on the app front. And second, there are portals which provide something called as the buddy program, there where everyone can register. They just help you listen and communicate your problem. But we are not that kind of a portal at all. We are absolutely into a very scientific way that we address and approach our clients.
So virtually, are you alone yet?
Yes, I would want to put it that way.
Do you fear competition coming in once you're there?
I would love to have competition, because that validates actually that there are more and more people, and I say there is a big market out there, let's reach out to people. There is nothing wrong in having competition. Competition gives us more scope to work harder and to achieve more harder. So I would want to have and want to love it that way.
And are you alone in this venture, or do you have any partners in this?
Currently, it's me. My team includes my wife, Dr. Mody. She is a healthcare professional, and we have a director of operations. She is a mental health professional and an MBA also. So we are 3 core team members who are running this. We currently don't have business partners, if I have to talk from that aspect, but we have strategic partners like NetMeds as our online pharmacy and Pearson as our online assessment partner.
The core business is yours?
Yes.
You are looking for funding, is it?
Yes,
venture capital, or what size of funding are you looking for?
Currently, the stage at which we are and the pace at which we intend to grow, we are looking to raise around US dollars 500,000. So that's something that we are looking to raise in the near future.
Have you been speaking to any investors?
Yes, while we are sitting here and speaking, we are already speaking to a few whom we are looking to, because most of the capital expenses we have been able to achieve and we have completed that. The requirement is to have more of operational expenses, so the capex is in place, the opex is something that we are looking for. While in our capacity we are able to do it in a limited way, we are looking to say, as we are looking to have our operations in 5 cities in the coming few months and pan India in the coming year, we will be requiring that kind of money to be coming, so that we are able to grow and meet the requirements of the business.
So what's your 1 year, at the end of 1 year, what do you want to be how do you see yourself?
So at the end of 1 year, I would have expected to have over 50,000 consultations. That's my first ambition to fulfill. over 500 mental health professionals will be on board, because as I said, we intend to be the gross aggregator for mental health in the country. So if we have competition, I said I'm very happy having them, and I'll be happy taking them on board with me also as I move ahead. So that's how I would have to look at the business that I want to achieve. So as I said, for the first year, 55,000 consultations, and to ensure that over 500 mental health professionals are on board with me.
And what sort of investors are you looking for? Purely finance guys, or in your type of field, there can be even the pharmaceutical companies, or there can
Yes.
be these big hospitals
Yes.
who would also want to back you up,
Yes.
because there is a synergy between the two.
Right. So predominantly people who will understand healthcare would be people who would be interested in this, because they understand the long term prospect of it, rather than just financial guys who will be looking at numbers. Because for a financial guy, the kind of operational expenses that I may be looking at may not really seem realistic, because our approach is the pharma approach, where we are going to be reaching out to the doctors and ensure that the doctor is going to get their client on board. So that requires the kind of outreach that we require, will require a lot of operational expenses happening. So
even insurance companies would be interested.
yes, they would be very
Sure,
much
yeah.
interested. Yes.
Because it's part and parcel of
Yes.
their thing.
Yes.
Health insurance especially.
Very true.
There are many groups here
Mhm.
who could be the investors in yours rather than just a financial investor.
Very true. Very
They would
true.
understand also when
Yes.
you're speaking to them. They
Right.
would understand what you're trying to say.
Very
A
true.
financial guy is just interested in the dollars, how much you spend.
So I am
how much
happy you are
cost.
giving them these cues, and if they
Yeah.
pick it up, it's going to be
Yeah,
worthwhile
you
for
never
them.
know. This
Yes.
is just coming to my mind that
Very
the
true.
type of business you're doing.
Mhm.
There is much more beyond financial investment.
Yes.
You have
Right.
a very wide field for
Yes.
seeking
Yes.
investment.
Very true. Very true. So anyone into health sciences, health
Yeah,
insurance,
yeah.
health industry, and health financing,
Mm.
these are going to be our predominant people whom we are going to be looking for as investors. There are people who would be interested in getting into not just funding but getting as strategic partners. So we are open to that also.
Is there anything more you would like to tell the investors or to the people who are listening to this?
Very important thing that I would want to say is that we bring in not just an experience, expertise, dedication, our dynamicness, everything is there, but there is a market, we have a team, and a product is ready. We are already in sale, and we are en route to achieving our goals. So we want people who would have these kind of synergies to get on board with us and take this mission ahead.
So thank you very much. A token of our appreciation. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It was very pleasant being and sharing our views with you. Thank you
We
very
wish
much.
you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.